is the matter with the American government and people? Do they really covet the world's ridicule as well as their own social and political ruin? What are they thinking about? Or don't they condescend to think at all? So indeed, it would seem from their blindness in dealing with the tremendous issue now upon them. Was there ever anything like it before? They are sorely pressed on every hand by a vast army of slave-holding rebels, flushed with success and infuriated by the darkest inspirations of a deadly hate, bound to rule or ruin. Washington, the seat of government, after 10,000 assurances to the contrary, is now positively in danger of falling before the rebel army. Maryland, a little while ago considered safe for the Union, is now admitted to be studded with the materials for insurrection, and which may flame forth at any moment. Every resource of the nation, whether men or money, whether wisdom or strength, could be well employed to avert the impending ruin. Yet most evidently, the demands of the hour are not comprehended by the cabinet or the crowd. Our presidents, governors, generals, and secretaries are calling with almost frantic vehemence for men. Men! Men! Send us men, they scream, or the cause of the Union is gone. The life of a great nation is ruthlessly sacrificed, and the hopes of a great nation go out in darkness. Yet these very officers, representing the people and government, steadily and persistently refuse to receive the very class of men which have a deeper interest in the defeat and humiliation of the rebels than all others. Men are wanted in Missouri, wanted in Western Virginia, to hold and defend what has been already gained. They are wanted in Texas and all along the sea coast. And though the government has at its command a class in the country deeply interested in suppressing the insurrection, it sternly refuses to summon from among the vast multitude a single man, and degrades and insults the whole class by refusing to allow any of their number to defend with their strong arms and brave hearts the national cause. What a spectacle of blind, unreasoning prejudice and pusillanimity is this! The national edifice is on fire. Every man who can carry a bucket of water or remove a brick is wanted. But those who have the care of the building, having a profound respect for the feeling of the national burglars who set the building on fire, are determined that the flames shall only be extinguished by Indo-Caucasian hands, and to have the building burnt rather than save it by means of any other. Such is the pride, the stupid prejudice and folly that rules the hour. Why does the government reject the Negro? Is he not a man? Can he not wield a sword, fire a gun, march and countermarch, and obey orders like any other? Is there the least reason to believe that a regiment of well-drilled Negroes would deport themselves less soldier-like on the battlefield than the raw troops gathered up generally from the towns and cities of the state of New York? We do believe that such soldiers, if allowed to take up arms in defense of the government and made to feel that they are hereafter to be recognized as persons having rights, would set the highest example of order and general good behavior to their fellow soldiers, and in every way add to the national power. If persons so humble as we can be allowed to speak to the President of the United States, we should ask him if this dark and terrible hour of the nation's extremity is a time for consulting a mere vulgar and unnatural prejudice. We should ask him if national preservation and necessity were not better guides in this emergency than either the tastes of the rebels or the pride and prejudices of the vulgar. We would tell him that General Jackson, in a slave state, fought side by side with Negroes in New Orleans, and like a true man, despising meanness, he bore testimony to their bravery at the close of the war. We would tell him that colored men of Rhode Island and Connecticut performed their full share in the War of the Revolution, and that men of the same color, such as the noble Shields Green, Nathaniel Turner, and Denmark Vesey, stand ready to peril everything at the command of the government. We would tell him that this is no time to fight with one hand when both are needed. That this is no time to fight with your right hand and allow your black hand to remain tied. It is now pretty well established that there are, at the present moment, many colored men in the Confederate Army doing duty not only as cooks, servants, and laborers, but as real soldiers, having muskets on their shoulders and bullets in their pockets, ready to shoot down loyal troops, and do all that soldiers made to destroy the federal government and build up that of the traitors and rebels. There were such soldiers at Manassas, and they are probably there still. There is a Negro in the Army as well as in the fence, and our government is likely to find it out before the war comes to an end. That the Negroes are numerous in the rebel army and do for that army its heaviest work is beyond question. They have been the chief laborers upon the temporary defenses in which the rebels have been able to mow down our men. Negroes helped to build the batteries at Charleston. They relieve their gentlemanly and military masters from the stiffening drudgery of the camp and devote them to the nimble and dexterous use of arms. Rising above vulgar prejudice, the slave-holding rebel accepts the aid of the black man as readily as that of the other. If a bad cause can do this, why should a good cause be less wisely conducted? We insist upon it that one black regiment in such a war as this, without being any more brave or orderly, would be worth to the government more than two of any other. And that, while the government continues to refuse the aid of the colored men, thus alienating them from the national cause and giving the rebels the advantage of them, it will not deserve better fortunes than it has thus far experienced. Men in earnest don't fight with one hand when they might fight with two, and a man drowning would not refuse to be saved, even by a colored hand.